And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this race between Phoenix Ignition and TAH in this week 4 of Swiss Rounds. My name is Bakuda, and I am joined in the booth by Fury SK. Fury, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good. Looking to see how the Allen, Heffley, and Phoenix get through this seed, and I'm kind of wondering what exactly we're going to roll into. Seems like it rolls either really crazy or really vanilla, and there isn't much of a in between those two marks.
No, yeah, I have noticed that. There's been a ton of vanilla throughout this entire tournament. I'm beginning to wonder when the shapes are actually going to start showing up.
Well, they have nothing in their B slot, so that's an interesting start.
That's really interesting. No bombs either. Really makes me wonder what that starting item is. Both of our runners finding a take any. Unfortunately, they were looking for a sword.
So it's a bunch of 50-50 tabs. There is a very, very small chance that you can get no item start, and we got it.
That is interesting. Also looking like our starting tries are either 2 and 3 and guaranteed 6.
Yep, both runners kind of work their way towards the vanilla starting area, probably looking for the wood sword. That's another 50-50 shuffle. Looks like that one also failed to roll vanilla, so more fun.
Looking like we might have vanilla secrets. That's another thing that's been rolling vanilla quite a bit.
Yep, that can be both good and bad. Usually means the gambling game will go about the same way. So if it's a second quest seed, that's actually a little bit worse off. Or second quest money, at least.
TAH learning very quickly that no more taxes is a big lie.
The Allen Heffley tried to go down the middle on that Armos, because if the Armos kind of rolls its vanilla locations, it will open up that one always. But that 50-50 also rolled off, so instead he just got a free ticket back to start.
Phoenix, however, managing to get through that Death Armos, finding level 7. And what kind of 7 are we looking at here?
Based on where the dot was, which is kind of in the bottom left, it is looking like it might be either Shapes or First Quest 7. It is definitely not Second Quest 7.
Very true, because you have those doors going up into the north.
Dark rooms means that one or the other is absolutely non-shaped.
So with those dark rooms, we are looking at a First Quest 7.
Well, not necessarily, because room shuffle is on, so you can get the dark rooms to roll into shapes, but you have to have one or the other between the front 6 and the back 3 roll First Quest for it to happen that way.
I was not aware of that. Thank you for that clarification.
No problem. I do think you might be right, though. This is kind of looking like it might be the setup for First Quest 7.
Regardless, Phoenix deciding he is going to get out, and the Allen Heffley being forced back to the beginning. And out.
The good news about an early dive of 7 is while you don't necessarily want to dig it in full, you can get some resources out of it, and both runners leaving with a key and a 4-pack And we do have a first or first mixed overworld, so that's nice. The difference between first and second designation being 2 of the large secrets roll into small secrets instead in second quest. Medium secrets across both, I believe, stay the exact same. Find it a little bit amusing that both actually bombed that whole pack of moblins that were kind of blocking the way. Still looking more like just a straight first quest because of this spot opening up. Definitely need a lot more information to confirm that, but that spot seems to not like to open when it mixes up. I feel like it's only about a 20% chance of opening in my seats I've played.
I've noticed that as well. Regardless, we can at least rule out a full second quest.
Yeah, we got rid of the second quest entirely, whether it be mixed second or second quest, thanks to no cave at level 3 and no green statues outside the open dungeon-looking entrance.
The Ellen Heffley, first of our runners to make it over into the graveyard. Phoenix looking to join with a screen scroll. And he does manage.
Yeah, this routing being so similar doesn't surprise me, given that both runners wanted to go towards Vanilla Start, and then you do have a lot of open caves to the west, including an Armos check, and it's pretty important to get the Armos checks out of the way in the first 10 minutes, especially if you think items are shuffled. If items aren't shuffled, it's still important because it leads you to try to find level 1 for the bow and level 4 for the ladder. And occasionally, if you find level 5, that becomes priority too, because you can get that flute, which can take you around the overworld to beaten or unbeaten vanilla or non-vanilla dungeons. So there's a lot of possibilities for that to help you out.
And I do find this Grave Armos to be the most important to check early, because the way the flags are set up, it is the most likely to have an item underneath it. Ellen Heffley going to be our first to check, and it is not there.
Given the money setup at 20 rupees on each, I actually think it's just worth it to buy the bombs, because you're likely to get mugged more often than you are to find another secret.
That is a very good point.
Alright, I'm beginning to be a little sus of a full first quest, given the start point and the directions going left and right at start, with the up direction also being in play.
That does look very first questy there.
Dongo dwells along the coast, so it's basically the entire east side of the map, give or take. The Ellen Heffley probably going to try and bomb these, hope for a bomb drop, which didn't happen. If it had, then there's a chance that he could push that reverse C with that bomb drop, allowing him to bomb the last remaining one. There is a bomb pack that he can go buy, though, so again, there's a chance for that to be taken care of, and that might be what's going on here. Nope, I am wrong. The Ellen Heffley is going to move on. Phoenix, meanwhile, is going to go further in. Bosses definitely have shuffled around a little bit.
I can definitely understand the Ellen Heffley not wanting to stick around in any of the dungeons too long without a sword. You could get an early advantage going in and digging a little deeper, or you could just end up wasting time. Phoenix, however, showing there might be an advantage as he finds the first Triforce of this race.
Yeah. Given the way the map's tracking, I think it's definitely a or at least a first half, I think, is now rolled first. We'll see for certain eventually, I'm sure, as level 1's something you want to go back to. But for now, still need a sword. Still haven't checked the East Armos. I think that's probably high on the priority list after you knock off this Death Mountain one-off check. Hey, mixed first. There you go.
All right. Well, that definitely opens up to many different places on the overworld to check. Makes the power bracelet and especially the recorder very important items to get a hold of. We've got 8 in Vanilla 1's location. Phoenix right behind the Alan Heffley. Both of them now in level 8.
Yep, it's in the Vanilla starting room for Vanilla First Quest 8 as well. And has the exact pattern of a First Quest 8.
So with that, we can deduce that they have the Triforce for level 2, since both the front and the back half of these dungeons are First Quest.
Yeah, what really helps on that is, again, dark rooms, the layout of one being in the standard format, and then just knowing where that vanilla start room is, you can just kind of deduce exactly what's going on there. We definitely know neither is second quest because of the room access you have. So that's the giveaway that we know the Triforce is in this case. Because one only has 2 columns in the E, and that one had 3, and then that level 8 went up, left, and right all 3 directions, where it's very linear across the second row, and we were in the first row.
Good point. Got a nice little high five here in the Lost Hills Armos.
Well, we know that is not the item. Unfortunately, TAH does not know exactly what's underneath there. So we might finally... I was going to say, finally we might have some divergence because of that.
He's not had much luck with the Armos on this game.
Alright, well we can check off the white sword item as something we're not particularly interested in. I think might pick it up this early without combat, but if it's actually truthful hints, which we don't know, as the boomerang, it's just kind of helpful in the first 15-20 minutes where you're playing on limited resources, and then once you get a repeatable range, it's meh.
We're thinking there might be a divergence, but so far they're both committed to this northeastern spot. Phoenix finding our first large secret.
Well, there's a little divergence here. The last Forest Armos will be the one that has the Armos item. I would think the Alan Heffley's probably going to look a couple rooms in and then go check that. But further confirming that we're all first, we start in the vanilla room that we would normally start in First Quest 5, and we're maintaining the shape so far.
Looking like we might be slightly ladder blocked there.
Well, maybe the ladder will be 2 screens away.
Or not, as Phoenix shows we have a bomb access into the more northern parts of this 5. Ooh, the wand is our Armos item. That's a huge item.
Yep, now we're going to see where the Alan Heffley decides to go with combat. Could opt back into one, or could just keep going through progression of the overworld until you get the wood sword, because the wand is nice, but doesn't do much against Wiz Robes, so when you find those dungeons, you'll need something just a little bit nicer.
Now, the next question I have, now that we have wand in hand, is are we going to have a boomstick?
Hard to say, but I think the runners will probably prioritize getting the candle first, so we'll see if we have enough money depending on other purchases. May have already seen the big shield shop too. I wasn't really paying that much attention.
With wand in hand, the Alan Heffley is going to dip back into this level 8. See how far he can get. Very nice clock pickup there.
And apparently we did see a 160 shield in a shop, so book will at most be maps for dungeons, and if it is what we think it is, not particularly useful.
Well, there we go. And we have our power bracelet as the stair item in level 8. Again, on a mixed quest world, that could be a very big item.
Probably not going to be too long until we find out what's on the coast. Level 3 kind of impeded progress. Speaking of impeding progress, we're not getting anywhere in 3.
So this might be a meat required seed.
Oh, it's absolutely required. It's spectacular. Red ring on the coast, in what appears to be a 0 HP seed for regular enemies, maybe not as big a deal, but I think the runners will still take it.
Any extra defense is nice.
Yep, the Alan Heffley's still kind of pushing around on walls just to confirm, because may not have absolute information given how little of some of the dungeons he's seen so far. And that heart dropped in the room it normally drops in level 8. So we may have a situation where floor drops remain in their vanilla rooms. Or at least for the major items.
And with it being a heart, there's a possibility that Heart Shuffle might be off. Not confident in saying definitively yet.
Yep. In the meantime, Phoenix went to the shop and I believe bought the more expensive meat, so spent all the money. But if level 3 has something important, actually, if it even has a red candle, it's a great play, because the red candle would then mean you don't have to spend 60 rupees on one. But if this has something significant and the Alan Heffley decides not to buy the bait anytime soon and leaves it for later, or doesn't at least find the large secret, then we could have a significant lead for Phoenix early on. Given what we think about the seed, that will be the only bait blocks. There's no way, or there's no reason to try and save it. There are methods to do that.
The Alan Heffley finding the Triforce in 8, deciding to dig a little further. We know there's at least one more item in this dungeon. Not a bad play. And
well, this is important all the same. It means that we do not have to buy wood arrows at any point in the seeds. That saves you 100 rupees. So that is important. It's not as big as some other items could have been. White Sword is also very nice, but similarly is not like crazy important.
That White Sword might come into play during the Ganon fight, and some bosses, that's about it. But still an item you're going to pick up.
Yeah.
With that, the Alan Heffley is going to pick up the Triforce. Full clear on that 8. Having all 3 items.
Heart container in vanilla room in 3, so I'm at least going to declare that the rooms with heart containers are not shuffled around. The chance that that happens once is reasonably high in a seed that's randomized. Twice in the first 2 dungeons we explored those rooms. That's pretty suspect.
What dungeon had our other heart container on the floor?
The other one that had the heart on the floor was level 8, and it was in the Gliok room in the bottom left corner, which is standard in a no-up A run. It's one that I think some runners usually skip.
So I've seen it in 8. Which one? Which other one?
Level 3 in the desert room.
Okay.
So good news, the Heffley's going up. Well, I was going to say he's going up to the corner there, which would lead to the 100 secret, which would allow bait to be purchasable. Any roads don't appear shuffled, so that's a bit unfortunate. This means the power bracelet probably is not going to be required at all the seeds. Well, at least the chances are very low because there's only 3 spots left now that count, and they don't have to shuffle on necessarily.
Very true.
So the odds are about the same as a raft, essentially.
Alan Heffley going to get back into level 1 with a sword and a wand. I'd say a pretty good call.
Yep. Phoenix, meanwhile, got the compass and is probably going to head towards that immediately and get out of this 3.
I didn't see with the take innings. Actually, now I am remembering. We don't have extra candles, do we?
I haven't fully paid attention to those either, but I don't recall seeing them. Runners had a bunch of health from the overworld before they even got in dungeons, and you'd think they'd take a blue candle, so my assumption is nope, no extra candles.
That is true. In that case, especially with Phoenix in this 3, or no, wait, no, the sword was an 8. So he might still find that wood sword before finding the white one.
This would be the vanilla drop room or the boomerang here for the Alan Heffley. It's got a key, but that room may be duplicated. Nope, the minor items have shuffled around a little bit thanks to rooms not being completely tied down to vanilla, I guess.
Took a good long look at that Triforce. This one should be his heart container right here, and it is.
Yep, so heart's staying put.
Yeah, with vanilla first quest dungeons, heart shuffle off, this seed could go fairly quickly.
Yeah, actually, I think it's the wider blocks as Caffey's pointing back at first quest, so we'll have to see on the... there's the key in its normal spot.
Phoenix here jumping into level 5. Be interested to see what the items are here.
Hey, that's an important item that only kind of rolled vanilla.
Right dungeon, wrong location.
Alright, so the floor drop we've got. Now we just need to presumably find a staircase in this one because it could house something important still. Yep. Gonna continue looking north. All the keys in the world in this one. Goodness.
Very fortunate finding those easy keys. Normally, a first quest 1 is just going to eat those keys away.
Gliok lurks with the bow. Well, we have a fun little deception seed. I like that.
Suddenly that white sword item is important again.
Yep, and the white sword's even more fun because it can be a situation where it rolls half correct. So if you roll the right location of the item, on the overworld and the wrong item, or it could roll the wrong location and the right item, or it could roll both right or both wrong. The second quest room flag is probably turned on at this point. I'm thinking maybe double block somewhere, or is it the reverse see at start?
Might be that reverse C.
9 by yeah, because the shutter door is closed on this side. You saw it opened up there, and then when you go in here, there's no shutter door. I find when that happens, it is because of the situation where the staircase has to be on.
So we got the raft in 1. That'll open up 2 overworld locations for us.
Yeah, we'd prefer the other item that looks somewhat similar, made out of the same type of materials, but the raft could be useful. It'd be something if the location of the white sword item being on the coast is true, and it's like a ladder, and then you get to sail across the water to go get that, but that's a really convoluted situation that probably won't happen.
Just because you said that, I'm hoping we see the ladder as the white sword item in a raft spot.
Oh, we're suddenly tied up on Triforces again. For those just joining, it's a 0 HP regular enemy seed. Looks to be first mixed on the overworld with dungeons being straight first quest, so not a lot of major shenanigans because second quest isn't in this.
The Alan Heffley taking our first candle of the seed, and we've actually found a lot of dungeons without the use of a candle. I believe the only things left to find are 2, 4, 6, and 9. The only things left to find are 4, 6, and 9.
Yes. No, we're getting more and more healthy across both sides as well.
Yeah, these hearts are coming quick and easy. Phoenix finding the... Well, that was the first large secret.
Second one. They're side by side, actually, aren't they?
They are side by side. Okay, that's what tripped me up. I thought for a minute I had misremembered, but you're right. They are side by side. I'm guessing that the Alan Heffley did not have bombs when he made that first check.
Yep, we have the good old Dig Dogger in a desert room. Not as important in this situation because it's a double up. Meaning there was 2 of those rooms. The other one had the heart, and we know the Triforce won't be blocked. Not that we need it out of this dungeon. We're just looking for a room that's, kind of similar to this one. And now we can kill a Dig Dogger if we want. So could opt to look around at a couple extra rooms for a key or 2. Otherwise, we can bail pretty much any time. Just kind of depends on what resources the Alan Heffley wants to value here.
And with 4 keys, I would almost say just get out of there.
No, the manhandle hint complete lie.
There's also the possibility that the Alan Heffley does not realize he already has the Triforce for level 2.
Yep, very possible given that the update hasn't happened yet, but sometimes you do kind of go in for extra resources because we've not seen some of the dungeons that really sap the keys. One's a major one, but there's also a couple more. 6, if it rolls bad, can be the same way, which has a free ladder in it.
I'm assuming you found that 6 in around the waterfall location.
Definitely seemed like it was northeast, but we have the Triforce, and you are correct, it's the waterfall itself.
Waterfall, yep. Well, that was a huge find for Phoenix, especially in a dungeon where you've already got the Triforce. In and out, done. That was a great find.
I don't think we're strictly ladder required in the seed yet. Oh, hey, there's the wood sword up at the white sword cave.
Wait a minute. This doesn't belong.
Yeah, the old man downgraded the sword up there.
So yet another near vanilla.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Alan Heffley finds the compass, and the Triforce isn't blinking, so they realizes, wait a minute, I'm wasting a little bit of time here.
Yep.
Not that much worse for her, only down 2 bombs from the rest of that exploration. Didn't have to burn any keys to sort out that situation, so it is what it is.
Well, both of our players now have a candle. Phoenix finding a hint shop, thinking about those hints. We know they're probably going to be worthless.
Well, now, how far is that from start? Isn't that just one screen from where they started the seed?
2 or 3, yeah.
If it's that close, my suggestion would be that the runners maybe save and then go and check some of them and then scam the guy and reset. Because if the hits, they only have to be true a set amount of the time for you to get information. So it could tell you, you know, in this case, it might tell you the bow's in 1, which would tell you for certain that information is inaccurate in the seed, but gives you 2 dungeons, and the chances that both of them are wrong are fairly rare. But you might also get a hint that says sail across the water, so it might make you think about finding a raft at some point if you're missing a dungeon. In fact, it could probably tell you to sail across the water to find the boomerang, and that would hint that probably the boomerang is true at that point. So there's another example of just why you might still want to go about buying hints, especially if they're that close to start and you can reset stratum.
Very interesting.
Looks like Phoenix Ignition is making the trek towards the Red Ring from all the way across Hyrule here, which is fair. Reduces deaths, while the prescription paper is all the way in Death Mountain.
Yeah, not a bad play for Phoenix.
Yep, the Alan Heffley now finds this hint shop. Again, could opt to save, could opt to just keep going. Just kind of depends on the runner. I'm going to check the raft spot at least, and then maybe think about it.
Yeah, not a bad idea. At least get a first look at this raft spot, and it's nothing.
Yep. No dice on that, but we cleared some enemies, so the chance of getting slam-wood on the way out is limited. But we're instead going to use the recorder and see what kind of recorder we have. Looks like beaten new?
It does, yes.
At least I think. Yeah, I think this is level 2. So this is
that is level
6.
2, yes.
So this is a pretty significant play. Dion Heffley could take a quick peek in here. I think that's all you need is any key is on the coast as the white sword item.
Okay.
Alright, so this is really, really, really important that Dion Heffley went in here. This room right here is going to get the ladder. And this is just being smart about just going into a dungeon that you've got beaten, but you can recorder to make sure that there isn't something for free. A lot of runners will just try and go mode, but by taking care of that one room, you now have an item that could be required, and if nothing else, could make life easier. The magical sword hit, in the meantime, was also for the coast, and that ended up being true.
Alan Heffley finding the wooden sword, thinks about it, is going to burn it.
Yep, if you pick it up, it won't do anything, doesn't downgrade you. Although maybe eventually we can get Fred to make that happen.
That'd be particularly evil. Now, I like the idea that they do in a Link to the Past randomizer where it's sword progression.
Yeah, there's been some discussion about that. I think it just comes down to how intensive it is to code on a basic Nintendo game versus a one that has a little bit more to play with in the memory. Yeah, I think the next big suggestion for me probably will be with regards to how first and second quest overworlds kind of work, as Phoenix is going back in this level 8. But I kind of like to see the first and second mix be gone, and just make it to where you can set what the money situation for the seed is. And that way it's less confusing between first and second mix, since that seems to trip people up a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Alan
Power
Douglas
Bracelet.
just start doing his recorder checks, and Phoenix now with a Power Bracelet.
Hey.
There we go.
So level 2 dig is also required. You have to go to both dungeons you have the Triforces out of to be able to progress in the seed. Potentially. 6 may not be as important, as we still haven't seen the full-on ladder block. There's a funny hint. Good old Gleeok lurks in the forest as we're in the middle of a desert.
You ever had any wonder whether or not the hints could be are truthful? There you go.
That's not even worth going after, given we have wand for ranged weaponry.
Yeah. After wand, there's no point in even thinking about a red candle.
So we're down to what, level 9 at this point?
Level 9, yes, that's the only thing we have not found. To have all of our dungeons, aside from 9, found within 36 minutes, that is very fast.
Yep. There's not a whole lot of places it can be that aren't blocked, so we might have 2 dungeons blocked. That compass is kind of helpful.
Phoenix only 25 rupees away from that bomb upgrade.
Yep. Maze room. Beyond Heffley. There you go. And it really is helpful. Stops him from going any further up into the dungeon. Just go one room left and there you have it.
Very easy Triforce for the Alan Heffley. Putting him in the Triforce lead.
So meanwhile, bosses did not roll 0, confirmed, so that's a reason enough to get the white sword when we stumble across it here in this 8, if Phoenix doesn't just take the try run. It looks like he's doing that, which is still not the end of the world. I mean, it's only bosses, and there's only a handful of bosses where that will be particularly helpful.
He's going back in. He wants that last item.
Yeah. Don't blame him. The bow's still out there, and we still have progression items such as the raft and the recorder that he doesn't have access to yet. But with Red Ring, Wood Sword, and Wand, even if Phoenix were unable to find the second item in here, that's enough damage to kill Gleeok's pretty easily, Patros pretty easily, since the Patros will be gone, so those are simple. So there's not a whole lot left in terms of combat outside of maybe Ganon, and that's its own flag independently.
The Alan Heffley, very, very full rupee bag now. Might be regretting checking that second secret. It looks like he's going to go down and check his last raft spot and pick up that red ring.
Ooh, we got knocked back, but we're just about a half tile, well, maybe a fourth tile away from going on the raft again. Okay, here's the other big play that needs to be made for the Alan Heffley. Once they go through the next two rooms, needs to be able to spend money on the bait, and with 255 rupees doesn't look that big a deal.
Yeah, if anything else, he might be happy just to have something to spend those rupees on.
White Sword finally found in this level 8 for Phoenix. They'll be out. Yep, the bait definitely blocks off the rest of that dungeon, and the silvers that will be close to go mode. In fact, it will be go mode for the Alan Heffley. Because there won't be anything left that can block you at all.
All he needs is Triforces out of 3, 5, and 7. He just picked up his level 3 Triforce, didn't he?
Nope, needs to go pick up this bait, and
right,
then
the
we'll
bait.
Go with that.
Okay, I am getting ahead of myself.
Yep, no feat of strength will save the princess could potentially be true still. We still have a couple recorder spots, and I'm not 100% certain we've cleared all the overworld across the two.
Phoenix back in 1. We know this is exactly where he needs to be. He will find his bow in here, and we'll put him in Triforce and Go mode as well.
Alright, here are the silvers that Phoenix found earlier. So this is officially Triforce and Go mode for the Alan Heffley. Because there's no second quest, we have no need for a second bait, as I said kind of a little while ago, and yeah, basically every other thing that could block you is in the inventory already. Meanwhile, Phoenix is in the room with Bo now. He's going to go through the room with Bo. That's a little concerning. Yeah, you gotta start clearing some of these rooms for that floor drop. We'll see.
Going back in.
Yep, just clear this room, please. There we go.
Now he's going to clear it. And he has bow. He sees the bow.
Yep. Don't have the sound on, Phoenix, but definitely heard the ding and went to look to see what it was. A little bit early on leaving, we know the raft is not required. Oh, okay, so just banking, I guess, on no more blocks. So we'll be interested to see if level 2, the same strategy is used. If that's the case, then we'll be in a little bit of a pickle, I guess.
Well, we're going to find that out here in just a couple of seconds as he is getting closer to level 2.
Answer the question, chat. It's completely first quest on both for the dungeon setup.
And he's going to go in.
Yeah, the reason why this dig makes plenty of sense is you know that the location of heart containers has not shuffled. So your theory is that the location of floor drop item in this dungeon is also not going to be shuffled, and you can look around for it. I didn't see the troll that was this level 3, the vertical chute blocking one of your paths over in the left side, so you have to forcefully spend this key and then open the shutter after defeating Patra. Patra's less trolly though, because the Patrobes are at least 0 HP.
Which is absolutely the worst part of a Patra.
Alright, now we're in a bit of trouble for Phoenix, as they're leaving after only exploring about 5 rooms.
He was already slightly behind, and this is going to put him just a little bit more behind. As the Alan Heffley picks up the Triforce out of level 3, only leaving him with 5 and 7 needed to get into 9.
Yep, and it definitely has both dungeons sorted out as far as where they're at. So just going to clear this south coast for level 9 potentially, and probably going to find Magical Sword and the Innie Key, which even at 8 keys you pick up. This isn't the end of the world for Phoenix. They're still only going to have so many spots left in the overworld check, and then they're going to know they're blocked. And once you know you're blocked, you're going back into 1, and you're going back into 2 first.
Very good point. Gonna try that mags check at 10 hearts. Definitely not gonna pull, but no big deal with 0 HP enemies.
Yeah, even on a low confidence Ganon fight, White Sword and Red Ring, for the most part, is going to make both of these runners feel fairly comfortable.
Phoenix gonna take his letter. Both of our players looking really good on the rupee count. I think at this point, the only thing left to purchase is bomb upgrades, should they find the second one.
Yeah, fortunately, Phoenix not going to have a bomb for this last spot in Western Death Mountain. So going to have to leave and look to make some progress elsewhere. Be really curious to see where this level 9 is in the seed.
There's not many places left to check. My guess is it's going to be in one of the other recorder spots.
This would be one of the 2 most likely spots, given it will always open.
Phoenix into level 5.
Yep, barring a Dig Dogger block, this will be a obtainable Triforce. Still don't know what the item is in here. Could be something helpful. I think the best bet left is probably the book, just to keep you straight in 9. But for Phoenix, it could also be the raft or the recorder. So we know it's not, but they don't know that yet.
With knowledge that it's going to be a first quest level 9, I would be extremely hesitant to pick up that book and make your wand that much harder to use.
Yeah, it can be a little bit annoying, but I still find the book, even for level 9, I've seen enough runners make the mistake of bombing into a spot that doesn't exist in the corners, so might as well think about it. And yeah, in 0 HP seed, I guess there would be a handful more situations where it could be helpful, as it leaves potential damage on the floor for him to walk into.
Oh, that's a fair point.
Segmented 5 is hype.
Phoenix has opted to leave level 5.
And no bombs.
No bombs, okay. He's farming.
It appears it's originally a right-hand staircase that impedes you in 5. We'll see if it's shuffled into a push block room. Which it did. So it makes me think we might have a little bit of fun time remove open staircases seed. Didn't really see a whole lot of evidence of items in weird spots. Potion hype, though, for Phoenix, so even less chances to die.
Being up here this far north, the Alan Heffley should have level 5 Triforce in hand before too long. Meanwhile, Phoenix trying to wrap up his bush burning.
Yeah, the Alan Heffley in go mode sees the item staircase and just nopes it. So it just tells you that we're trying to burn through the rest of the seed ASAP, and the Triforce being right here, as we kind of knew from the compass from Phoenix.
Well, at this point, we are only 4 items left, and the book could be useful, but the rest is pretty much junk.
Yep. Kind of unlikely we'll see the item in 7. Might see it in 9, but unless Phoenix goes back to 7 before 5, we're going to be in a situation where 7's just go moded.
The Alan Heffley in 7. Phoenix is going to need to do some work to start catching up. But we still have yet to see 9, so that could change everything no matter who goes in first. Here we go. Phoenix back in 5. Let's see if he can find that staircase that will lead him up to the Triforce. There we go. Phoenix should have that Triforce before too long.
Yeah, we'll get a good chance to see what the item is, too.
Yeah, we do. Not having the recorder, I would imagine Phoenix is definitely wanting to see what this item is. Not very happy with the result.
Well, it was a quick and en route check to make, so good just to eliminate it. Phoenix Ignition does not have the raft, to answer the question. Chat did not go in the room and one to the left and clear it. The raft being the unimportant one of those two items. So again, just down to how many overworld checks does Phoenix have left before they're out of overworld checks, because that's going to determine the play.
Up in Death Mountain, it's where he needs to be, but going the wrong direction at this point. And up in A, back to start. I think he's looking to go to 7.
To answer another question, Chad, about what we know about the seed, Vanilla First Quest Dungeons, first mixed overworld. Items did shuffle, deceptive hints, so the hints are only moderately helpful at times. It was bait required seed, so that was pretty fun. And then you also needed to go to both of the dungeons you had Triforces out of, potentially, to finish the seed. I believe we did have a ladder block to the staircase in 5 that led you to the Triforce in 5, so I think that's where the required part of that is now.
And we've not found a book yet, but everything is pointing to no boomstick.
Nope, certainly no boomstick because it's not in the shop. The big shield being there at 160 rupees took away our fun.
It's a shame because this is a seed where they could have perched it. The Alan Heffley has 1 bomb, has to make it count. He does not.
So now just going to have to hope that these friendly Korea drop it, or that we can get to the Triforce without bombs. Which is still possible. Could just be right over to the right, one more room.
Phoenix in that same room with more bombs.
Compass kit. Here we go. Way up north.
But Phoenix is not going to check.
Phoenix gets both Korea in the room to drop bombs, where bombs were not even needed. Alright, more chances at bomb drops. The clock on 3, so we need to go 4, 5, now you need to hit the red. 6, 7, you can hit that one again. Ooh, just left it. So now we're nowhere near a bomb drop. I think we're at 1, so we need to go for another 5. Still might be walkable, though. It seems like the Alan Heffley's just going straight up this path.
Yeah, he's just going to go straight up. There's a door there. That's going to take him right into his Triforce. And with this grab, the Alan Heffley officially in go mode. All that's left to do is find level 9.
Another question in chat. Where's 4 at? 4 is in the desert. Needs a flute to open it up.
Unfortunately, that's a flute Phoenix does not have, nor has any idea where to find.
Nope, but good news is the potential solutions will be 1 and 2, as we've got all other item knowledge on Phoenix's side of this seed.
I do support Phoenix's decision on going into 7 before digging out 1 and 2 again. You know you got to come in here for a Triforce anyway. You might as well dip in here. Get that Triforce and see if the item is what you need.
Yep. In the meantime, the Alan Heffley going into the Dead Woods. There's a spot that could potentially open in the south, and then there's also the lake, which I think probably is next up to be checked. Nope, never mind me.
Yeah, there there are a total of 4 different whistle spots in this area.
Yep, the 2 in the grave and the 2 in the dead woods all compressed together. And this was the most likely spot because it was going to be open every time.
Neil and Heffley getting into level 9 at just after 59 minutes, short of that 1 hour mark. All ears are listening for that roar. We have arrows, no need to find them.
We're missing something else we need, though. Yeah, that is not the floor drop we were looking for. And the reds did not respond, so we're hoping for a floor drop. It was a compass. That's an interesting compass. It tells us that Zelda is not in the vanilla room, and the Alan hopefully is going to have to leave because there's no bomb droppers left, and there's nothing but bomb walls.
That is a very fast Zelda, though.
We found the heart in 7. So, for those keeping track. And for Diesel, who is our tracker, that puts the book and the regular boomerang definitively into level 9.
Chat reminding us that the Alan Heffley did not find Zelda's room, he found Link's room.
Meh. Alright. Phoenix going into the hint shop. Let's see if it gives him a bone here with the recorder hint. Well, it gives him the red ring in 1, which we know doesn't do anything. Just gonna skip out on the rest of the hints, knowing that's deceptive.
With a full bomb bag, the Alan Heffley going back into level 9.
We've not seen either bomb upgrade. To answer that question, chat, it will not be in level 9. The only thing that can roll into level 9 from the perimeter outside of hints would... Or actually, hints can't even roll there. It's just simply bait block can roll in here if you didn't have that already happen.
We did see one bomb upgrade earlier. It was in level 8.
Ah, nice. So we saw it really early before we had all this money. The other thing that can roll in is mugger rooms, but I don't even think we've seen one. So I think the worst thing that can happen left in this level 9 is a required blue wizard room. Or maybe a Ganon in a Chevy or Circle Moat room, where the pattern gets so offset that you kind of miss out sometimes. This is going to be a fun room to kill later when we're trying to get here for Zelda.
Phoenix looking pretty frustrated as he can't figure out where he needs to go next.
That staircase is fairly helpful. Gets you to the center of the dungeon around all of the solid walls. So roar should be pretty soon, I would think. There's only left side of the dungeon and a little bit towards the center bottom that we haven't heard from.
Really has been a fairly easy 9 so far.
Alright, we're not going to go this way anytime soon.
Phoenix looking like going back into level 1. Just needs that level 4 and knows he needs, most likely, a flute to find it. gonna pick up a big shield. And some bombs.
Well, I don't think that's the roar we're looking for. We'll confirm that it's not masking a roar, though, which it did. Nice.
I think it is the roar we're looking for, as we find Ganon.
Yeah, well, you had the Gleeok roaring at you, and then you got the additional click roar from Ganon next door. 0 HP? You betcha.
0 HP. This is going to be over very quickly.
Well, I mean, did we see the shutter door yet? You never know for sure. It could be just a left side.
That's true.
I don't recall seeing a shutter door on the right side of the Zelda room here. I don't think you can go straight up, so should I try and bomb?
So.
Oh.
Knowing where Link is only half the problem. Finding the route is the next item.
If there's a shutter door on the north side of the room, this will be over pretty soon still. You just have to kill a couple of land molas and you'll have access to that room.
Phoenix trying to be able to bomb open this last bomb check that he had in Death Mountain, but it is not bombing this seed. Had him confused for a little bit.
Alright, moment of truth. Shutter door south, yep. GG's.
There we are. Well, everyone get some GG's out for the Alan Heffley, who's going to finish this race with an official time of 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 48 seconds. Once he found those last few items, he cleaned up very quickly. Phoenix still looking for that last level. I mean, I do understand. He's wanting to take out every single check before dipping in to try and find that recorder. We're going to try and get the Alan Heffley in here for an interview. And with that, we do have an official forfeit from Phoenix. He's going to go ahead and put this seed to bed. We'll see if he wants to get in here and talk with us as well.
It's understandable. You know, essentially what's left to do in the seed is find the recorder or the raft and then go look. But just don't feel like cleaning up the rest of it.
Right.
In fact, may actually end up going into one and checking it out real quick. Nope.
That's where he's going to call it right there.
Alright, so we'll see if either one jumps in here in the next couple of minutes. Otherwise, fairly entertaining race because there is still a lot to be done with required items.
Yeah, that recorder ended up being extremely handy, being able to find both 4 and 9. 9 was a pretty straightforward 9.
Yeah, outside of requiring bombs and a very linear path up the right side of 9 around Zelda to the rest of it, wasn't too bad. In the meantime, while we're waiting to see if the mics are working, I think SpeedGaming is going to go into a bit of a dinner break before they have content on tonight. Looks like there will be some SMB3 and some Metroid Rando, as well as some more content tomorrow. I think all the channels might fire up again, and we have one last race that will be live tomorrow at roughly the same time as today. So I think we're joined by Phoenix Ignition. GG's just a little bit trolled there with the last dungeon.
Yeah, is it under a raft or recorder spot?
Yep.
It is under a recorder spot. The recorder was in 2.
Okay. Yeah, I saw 2, saw that we had the Triforce already and just turned around out of there. I was paying too close attention to the deceitful hints and kind of got trolled a bit there.
Yep. The raft was in just one room into the left where the gorillas were. I think both of you saw the room.
Okay.
I think what helped a little bit for the Alan Heffley in 2 was it did seem like he was fully aware he had the Triforce. But what also helped was the floor drops for the major items didn't change. So you had all the heart containers in their normal rooms, thus the rooms with the floor drop items, in this case the bow in 1 and the recorder in 2, were in the rooms that they should have been in. So that helped out a little bit as far as that knowledge.
Gotcha.
Other than that, the only other trolley bit of the seed really was the bait block in 3, but with the amount of money that you ran into and the fact that the red ring was fairly accessible as long as you went into a level 6 that you had the Triforce out of and went one room in to get your ladder, I thought this seed was pretty generous.
Yeah, I didn't think the seed was too bad, just me not having the recorder. Like, I have the recorder marked as in 1, no item in 2. And if those 2 are there, what is it? The red candle, the raft, and something else is in. Oh, the book is in 9.
The raft is in 1, the red candle is in 4, and level 9 is the boomerang and the book.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yep.
We didn't see the 9 items, just process of elimination, as you saw the item in 7 that the Alan Heffley didn't get a chance to see, and the magic boomerang in 5, I don't think he saw either because he already had all the overworld exploration items, had bow and silver, so didn't even want to waste the time, just wanted the Triforce to get out.
That makes sense.
So I think just not going into level 2 too far just because the Triforce was already obtained was kind of the one thing that kind of made or broke the seed for this race, but that's kind of how it goes sometimes. You just have to either decide or not to decide to go into a dungeon, and sometimes it works out that you don't need to go into them, and sometimes both dungeons require it.
Yeah, when I pulled the ladder out at 6, I probably should have spent more time in 2, just thinking that, hey, there might be something in here as well.
Well, this game is all about taking risks, and leaving too early could have given you an advantage. It's all about making the right call. It just wasn't this time.
Yep.
Again, just gaining knowledge is really the name of the game here. Even the people that go 5-0 can get eliminated in 2 games in the playoffs. Similarly, 0-5 can win 2 games and be in the next round. So it's doesn't matter if you're all the way down there or if you end up 1-4, 2-3, 3-2, 4-1. None of those records really matter in the end. It just kind of decides who you face in the first round, and from there it's just what kind of randomized seed do you get and what order do you do it in, and that's really going to decide who starts winning some of the games in the bracket. So we'll have to wait and see what happens to all of the runners once they get there.
Well, Phoenix, any final words before we sign off?
Nope, I've got a hockey game to watch.
Who's playing?
Rangers Sabres, hence the beat the Sabres.
Well, best of luck to you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't mind the Rangers. They gave us good value for the player we traded them, so I'll take that.
Which player?
Vladimir.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That was a pretty good trade for both ends.
Yep.
Anyway, thanks for doing Restream and tracking. I'm getting out of here. Have a good night, guys.
Yep.
Have a good
See
night.
you next time.
This is the only match we're going to have today, but there is a match tomorrow night, Alsoa versus Stun. That will be at 5 o'clock, and I'm sure if you check the schedule tomorrow, you'll find out which channel that will be streaming to.
Yeah, there is a ton of stuff going on, so I have no idea which one it'll be put on. I would assume kind of one of the middle ones, just because it's a full day, and basically anything can be anywhere.
And then, do you know when the wheel is going to be tomorrow?
I believe Krim intends to get it taken care of at. Let's see, I gotta convert time zones here. I think it's going to be at 8 Eastern as opposed to 9. It could also be at 8:30. I don't know exactly which, but the intention is to get it a little bit earlier this week. So look for that announcement tomorrow. Probably depends a little bit on his schedule, but I think it's definitely going to be about a half hour to hour before the weekly fires up. So we get a little bit more time to situate that event.
All right. So be looking for that tomorrow. I want to give a special thanks to Diesel Pilot for doing our tracking. As always, we would be lost without a tracker, so thank you so much for that. And a thanks to the chat for always making things interesting. Any final thoughts, Fury?
Nope, looking forward to the match tomorrow, and we'll be in week 5 after that, so ton more matches for week 5, and then the real fun begins, because you go to best of 3s and brackets, and my job gets all the more fun.
Well, best of luck with that. Everybody remember tomorrow, set your clocks. Time change. It's going to be fun as we play Zelda with an hour less sleep. Have a great night, guys.